Oh, hi there. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. If by now you don't know me, then I'm Sean Butler, and that little one down there is Bugsy Malone, and together we bring to you episode 91 of Tottenham Walks. Say together. She's more of just a silent partner. Guys, before we get going, two things. Please, first of all, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell if you haven't already. Would really appreciate that. It helps push the signals out to new Tottenham fans who may or may not enjoy the content. Secondly, for those of you who are up to date with my Wi-Fi issues, I promised you guys that this week I'd be able to start streaming live again, and I owe you guys a hell of a lot of streams to catch up with, you know, those that I've missed over the last 2 months. But Virgin was supposed to be coming out yesterday. They did come out, having waited 3 weeks for them to come out and install it. And the guy who arrived asked where the line was, and I said, I don't think there is one. There's never been Virgin here. He presumed that there had been, didn't do any checks, turned around and left and said, I'll have to book another guy to come out in 3 weeks to install the line. So I was incredibly annoyed. Let him know how I felt about the first impression that I've had of Virgin Media. Very unprofessional. And I'm incredibly frustrated, so I don't know really what to do about the live streaming for the time being. It doesn't seem to be a problem when I do it on other people's streams so much. I don't think it requires quite as much bandwidth or whatever. I might try it, because I want to get back to live streaming on my channel, but you'll have to just accept that there's probably the chance that it could all drop off at any second. Anyway, it is what it is. I apologise. So annoying. So annoying. Let's talk about better things though, guys. Let's talk about more centre-back options in the news today. All around the kind of aggregated, affiliated links that I guess syndicate lots of different people's content. And maybe one person's story looks like there's more to it when you read about it on 10 different websites. And in reality, they're just all feeding off of each other. But today's one that kind of tickled my interest a little bit enough to talk about it with you is £44 million rated AS Monaco defender Axel Disasi, or Disasi. I'm not entirely sure how you say his name. Listen, first and foremost, I'll go into his stats with you. I've taken a look at him on Y-Scout. He does look like a really competent defender. It's interesting that we would be going after him because in reality, when you look at him on Transfer Market, they suggest that he can play on the left or the right hand side of a back four, in the two central defender role. When you actually look at his positions for Monaco this season, Monaco either play with a back three and he'll play on the right hand side, so in the Romero position, or when they play in a back four, he's played on the right side of the middle of the middle two centre backs, and on occasion he's even played at right back, like as a full back. I'm going to read out his stats to you. Let me get them up. He's impressed going forward. He's scored 1 goal this season. He's registered 3 assists and created 2 big chances for his teammates, in addition to taking an average of 0.7 shots per game, playing 3.3 long balls and completing on average 40 passes a game at a success rate of 82%, which is, about, I think, standard. 82 to 83, 84%, whatever. When you're a centre-back, you shouldn't really be, it's not the same as someone who's caught up in the middle or in the forward lines under pressure with their passing success rates. He has been compared to Liverpool centre-back Virgil van Dijk. He's had an average SofaScore match rating of extremely impressive 7.04 over the entirety of the season. Talent scout Jacek Kulig, big name talent scout Jacek Kulig, has dubbed him as the complete defender and a dominant defender. All very interesting stuff. And over his 15 League One appearances in the current campaign, the £44 million rated talent has been in imperious form at the back, helping his side keep 5 clean sheets, as well as making an average of 2.2 interceptions per game, 1.3 tackles per game, 3.0 clearances per game, and winning on average 4.3 duels at a success rate of 62% per game. look, to me, I don't think he's 44 million quid's worth of defender. It's very difficult to really get a grasp on French, or players that are coming from the French league. We've spoken about this many times. You know, I did a video about Vanderson, which I'll put the link to up here somewhere, so you can go and check him out. He's the right wing back who plays for AS Monaco, and is somebody again that I look at the stats on, look at the Y Scout videos that show kind of all touches, look at his ability to cross, look at his ability to shoot, and think, well, it's really great, right? He looks like an interesting player, but you have to take it all with a pinch of salt, because you're doing it against, often lower league French Ligue 1 teams that are just not that good. And so how will they translate when they're playing against the very best players in the world, against us in the Premier League? And so you tend to look then to see, well, how do they do in Europe? Maybe there's a better grasp there. And look, Monaco did okay in Europe this season, and both Vanderson and Disasi have done... Bugsy, come away, please! Have done very well for their teams in Europe as well. But the European teams that they played, from memory, weren't that spectacular either. I think they had a fairly lucky draw. So, listen, I also don't know if it really, is the right side of a back three. We've got Romero there. Is he going to be able to play in the centre? Well, we haven't seen him play in the centre of a back three for Monaco. He plays on the right, like I said, or the right of a back four, or even the right back spot. And so I don't think that they're looking to bring him in as a right wing back. And I don't think they're looking to move to a back four at Tottenham anytime soon. So maybe if there's any truth to it, it's in lieu of that whole thing we were talking about the other day about having a kind of jack of all trades centre back that can play in the back three and can transition to a back four. But at the same time, are we going to drop something like 44 million quid on a player that to fill a position that we only know that he may or may not be competent enough for the Premier League, in a position that's already taken up by Romero, who is our first choice centre-back when fully fit? Unless the vision is to move Romero into the centre of a back three, which I think is absolutely plausible as well. Yeah, I think he's more than capable enough to transition. But for me, I just don't really see it happening on this one. So I'm going to give this a big fat thumbs down. I think this is just some sort of media talk. People are bored trying to get the stories together. There's a whole bunch of other ones out there today. I've seen someone, HITC, talking about the likelihood of Cristiano Ronaldo making sense at Tottenham Hotspur because of the Paratici link, and if there's a way that they could convince Ronaldo to play in a rotational system and also drop his ridiculous salary down to something more reasonable. But both of those things are like the reasons why he isn't getting on at Manchester United, or at least one of them is the fact that he doesn't want to play rotational football. And so that's never going to happen. And so you have to obviously just have the ability to look at some of these news reports and think there's nothing in this whatsoever. Another one that was coming out earlier today was Inter Milan. We were linked again with Inter Milan's new left back, or the guy that's, I forget his name off the top of my head, damn it, that's just such an annoyance. I'll put that in a little caption below now. We were linked with him. And I don't think there's any truth to that, considering we've got Udogie coming in the summer. There's no need for Tottenham to focus on our left-back situation right now. And they were also talking about us looking at Marcelo Brozovic, which, listen, Brozovic is an absolutely world-class player. I absolutely adore him. But I think this is more just people looking at teams like Inter Milan, looking at teams that we have interest in some of their players, and then finding a reason to think that Tottenham are interested in basically every one of their squad. None of them really make that much sense today. The only story that I thought that was really worth discussing with you was this one about Axel Disasi. But for me, I still don't think it makes that much sense. The valuation of the player, the position that he's in, the relative inexperience that he's got playing at the very highest level, and the difficulty in really understanding whether or not that level of skill that he has and demonstrated in the French league will transition across to the Premier League. I think all of those reasons are strong enough to put in the con column to say that this one is also a nothing burger. I'll look out for another story, guys, as soon as I can find one for you. Like, share and subscribe. And as always, guys, bye-bye!